sometimes even to live as an act of courage. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. All cruelty springs from weakness. Non est ad astra malii terras via, there is no easy way from the earth to the stars. Religion is regarded by the common people as true, by the wise as false, and by rulers as useful. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. As is a tale, so is life, not how long it is, but how good it is what matters. If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. Hang on to your youthful enthusiasms, you'll be able to use them better when you're older. It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. He who is brave is free. What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears. No man was ever wise by chance. Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power. They lose the day in expectation of the night, and the night in fear of the dawn. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a harder battle. Every heart sings a song, incomplete, until another heart whispers back. Those who wish to sing always find a song. At the touch of a lover, everyone becomes a poet. Only the dead have seen the end of war. The price good men pay for indifference to public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. Never discourage anyone who continually makes progress, no matter how slow. Love is a serious mental disease. Ignorance, the root and stem of every evil. Those who tell the stories rule society. Human behavior flows from three main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something. Never forgive a friend who betrayed you once, he will betray you again. The greatest victory is overcoming your own negative thinking. The most virtuous are those who content themselves with being virtuous without seeking to appear so. Courage is knowing what not to fear. The measure of the man is what he does with power. Knowledge which is acquired under compulsion obtains no hold on the mind. A house that has a library in it has a soul. No one is more heated than he who speaks the truth. If you are answered with silence, this does not mean you were not answered. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. I know that I am intelligent because I know that I know nothing. By all means, marry. If you get a good wife, you'll become happy. If you get a bad one, you'll become a philosopher. He is richest who is content with the least, for content is the wealth of nature. The unexamined life is not worth living. I cannot teach anybody anything. I can only make them think. Wonder is the beginning of wisdom. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. Death may be the greatest of all human blessings. Strong minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, weak minds discuss people. Education is the kindling of a flame, not the filling of a vessel. Thou shouldst eat to live, not live to eat. Once made equal to man, woman becomes his superior. People demand freedom of speech to make up for the freedom of thought which they avoid. False words are not only evil in themselves, but they infect the soul with evil. The value of a man is measured in the number of those who stand beside him, not those who follow. It is better to suffer wrong than to do wrong. He who would change the world should first change himself. Human nature will not easily find a better helper than Eros. The man who is truly wise knows that he knows very little. As soon as laws are necessary for men, they are no longer fit for freedom. Silence is better than unmeaning words. The oldest, shortest words, yes and no, are those which require the most thought. Rest satisfied with doing well, and leave others to talk of you as they will. Anger begins with folly, and ends with repentance. The most momentous thing in human life is the art of winning the soul to good or evil. Choose rather to be strong of soul than strong of body. No one is free who has not obtained the empire of himself. Do not talk a little on many subjects, but much on a few. Educate the children and it won't be necessary to punish the men. A man is never as big as when he is on his knees to help a child. Above the cloud with its shadow is the star with its light. Salt is born of the purest parents, the sun and the sea. A blow from your friend is better than a kiss from your enemy. You should make great things, not promising great things. There is geometry in the humming of the string. Do not go to bed until you have gone over the day 3 times in your mind. What wrong did I do? What good did I accomplish? What did I forget to do? Meaningful silence is better than meaningless words. A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. Make it a rule never to give a child a book you would not read yourself. You see things, you say, why? But I dream things that never were, and I say why not? If you want to tell people the truth, make them laugh, otherwise they'll kill you. Animals are my friends, and I don't eat my friends. Those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. There are two tragedies in life. One is to lose your heart's desire. The other is to gain it. If you cannot get rid of the family skeleton, you may as well make it dance. There is no love sincerer than the love of food. Never wrestle with pigs. You both get dirty and the pig likes it. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. The liar's punishment is, not in the least that he is not believed, but that he cannot believe anyone else. Why should we take advice on sex from the Pope? If he knows anything about it, he shouldn't. Success does not consist in never making mistakes but in never making the same one a second time. You use a glass mirror to see your face, you use works of art to see your soul. A pessimist is a man who thinks everybody is as nasty as himself, and hates them for it. He knows nothing, and he thinks he knows everything. That points clearly to a political career. Dancing is a perpendicular expression of a horizontal desire. My way of joking is to tell the truth. It's the funniest joke in the world. Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts. Men occasionally stumble over the truth, but most of them pick themselves up and hurry off as if nothing had happened. My tastes are simple, I am easily satisfied with the best. History will be kind to me for I intend to write it. Success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. If you are going through hell, keep going. Tact is the ability to tell someone to go to hell in such a way that they look forward to the trip. I am fond of pigs. Dogs look up to us. Cats look down on us. Pigs treat us as equals. It is not enough that we do our best, sometimes we must do what is required. The best argument against democracy is a 5-minute conversation with the average voter. Kites rise highest against the wind, not with it. Nothing in life is so exhilarating as to be shot at without result. A fanatic is one who can't change his mind and won't change the subject. Personally, I'm always ready to learn, although I do not always like being taught. For myself, I am an optimist. It does not seem to be much use to be anything else. The greatest lesson in life is to know that even fools are right sometimes. You will never reach your destination if you stop and throw stones at every dog that barks. I never worry about action, but only about inaction. Nothing in life is so exhilarating as to be shot at without result. Don't interrupt me while I'm interrupting. Dwell in the past, do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. Quiet the mind and the soul will speak. What you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create. Happiness will never come to those who fail to appreciate what they already have. If you want to fly, give up everything that weighs you down. Before you speak, let your words pass through 3 gates. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Purity or impurity depends on oneself. No one can purify another. Every morning we are born again. What we do today is what matters most. Don't rush anything. When the time is right, it'll happen. When it hurts, observe. Life is trying to teach you something. One moment can change a day, one day can change a life, and one life can change the world. Your mind is a powerful thing. When you start to filter it with positive thoughts, your life will start to change. If you truly loved yourself, you could never hurt another. Happiness does not depend on what you have or who you are. It solely relies on what you think. Suffering is not holding you, you are holding suffering. Give, even if you only have a little. There is no fear for one whose mind is not filled with desires. It is a man's own mind, not his enemy or foe, that lures him to evil ways. Meditate. Do not delay, lest you later regret it. I'm not in this world to live up to your expectations, and you're not in this world to live up to mine. Do not pray for an easy life, pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. Adapt what is useful, reject what is useless, and add what is specifically your own. Don't fear failure. Not failure, but low aim, is the crime. In great attempts it is glorious even to fail. Be happy, but never satisfied. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who had practiced one kick 10,000 times. A wise man can learn more from a foolish question than a fool can learn from a wise answer. Mistakes are always forgivable, if one has the courage to admit them. If you spend too much time thinking about a thing, you'll never get it done. A goal is not always meant to be reached, it often serves simply as something to aim at. It is not a daily increase, but a daily decrease. Hack away at the inessentials. To hell with circumstances, I create opportunities. The key to immortality is first living a life worth remembering. If you don't want to slip up tomorrow, speak the truth today. Always be yourself, express yourself, have faith in yourself. Do not go out and look for a successful personality and duplicate it. Use only that which works, and take it from any place you can find it. A good teacher protects his pupils from his own influence. The key to immortality is first living a life worth remembering. If you spend too much time thinking about a thing, you'll never get it done. If you love life, don't waste time, for time is what life is made up of. Above all things, never be afraid. The enemy who forces you to retreat is himself afraid of you at that very moment. Memory is a great artist. For every man and for every woman it makes the recollection of his or her life a work of art and an unfaithful record. The art of growing old is the art of being regarded by the oncoming generations as a support and not as a stumbling block. Conversation would be vastly improved by the constant use of 4 simple words: I do not know. Few are they who have never had a chance to achieve happiness, and few are those who have taken the chance. Men fear silence as they fear solitude, because both give them a glimpse of the terror of life's nothingness. The first recipe for happiness is, avoid too lengthy meditation on the past. It is better to teach a few things perfectly than many things indifferently. Art is an effort to create, beside the real world, a more humane world. If you create an act, you create a habit. If you create a habit, you create a character. If you create a character, you create a destiny. A happy marriage is a long conversation which always seems too short. We owe to the Middle Ages the two worst inventions of humanity, romantic love and gunpowder. We can talk frankly about our defects only to those who recognize our qualities. The difficult part in an argument is not to defend one's opinion but rather to know it. A marriage without conflicts is almost as inconceivable as a nation without crises. Every 10 years you should delete from your mind a few ideas that your experience has proven to be false. A true woman loves a strong man because she knows his weaknesses. She protects as much as she is protected. Sincerity is glass, discretion is diamond. Without a family, man, alone in the world, trembles with the cold. To be witty is not enough. One must possess sufficient wit to avoid having too much of it. If you have a garden and a library, you have everything you need. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all the others. The life of the dead is placed in the memory of the living. Glory follows virtue as if it were its shadow. Friendship improves happiness and abates misery, by the doubling of our joy and the dividing of our grief. Live as brave men. And if fortune is adverse, front its blows with brave hearts. Silence is one of the great arts of conversation. An unjust peace is better than a just war. A home without books is a body without soul. Nothing is more noble, nothing more venerable than fidelity. Faithfulness and truth are the most sacred excellences and endowments of the human mind. The wise are instructed by reason, average minds by experience, the stupid by necessity and the brute by instinct. When you have no basis for an argument, abuse the plaintiff. There is nothing so absurd that some philosopher has not already said it. Nobody can give you wiser advice than yourself. Love is the attempt to form a friendship inspired by beauty. Brevity is a great charm of eloquence. Cultivation to the mind is as necessary as food to the body. Any man can make mistakes, but only an idiot persists in his error. It is the peculiar quality of a fool to perceive the faults of others and to forget his own. No one can give you better advice than yourself. Consider it the greatest of all virtues to restrain the tongue. Bitter are the roots of study, but how sweet their fruit.
In doing nothing men learn to do evil.
Consider in silence whatever anyone says, speech both conceals and reveals the inner soul of man. I know not what treason is, if sapping and betraying the liberties of a people be not treason. Wise men are more dependent on fools than fools on wise men. All have the gift of speech, but few are possessed of wisdom. The best way to keep good acts in memory is to refresh them with new. For some people there is no comfort without pain. Thus, we define salvation through suffering. Hence, why we choose people who we know aren't right for ourselves. Don't promise twice what you can do at once. Flee sloth, for the indolence of the soul is the decay of the body. The primary virtue is, hold your tongue. Who knows how to keep quiet is close to God. Regard not dreams, since they are but the images of our hopes and fears. Those magistrates who can prevent crime, and do not, in effect encourage it. In conversation avoid the extremes of forwardness and reserve. I think the first wisdom is to restrain the tongue. If you live properly, don't worry about what the evil ones say. I will begin to speak, when I have that to say which had not better be unsaid. After I am dead I'd rather have people ask why I have no monument than why I have one. Old age isn't so bad when you consider the alternatives. Please like and subscribe our channel. Thanks for watching.